Good afternoon. Welcome to your favorite weekly current affairs program. It is 60 Minutes Nigeria. My name is Egosa Agmulayo, your anchor on the show. I must tell you, as usual, today's program promises to be enlightening, educative, and of course, entertaining. I'll be keeping you abreast with the very latest in the country. On today's edition of the program, Under Matters Arising, we're looking at a very crucial national issue, one that has generated reactions across the country, one of concern not only to the leaders of this country, former leaders of this country, present leaders of this country, and of course all citizens. It has to do with the rising cost of living. As I speak, a visit to the different markets, shopping malls across the country, there is hike in price of food items, hike in price of groceries, hike in price of everything. It has to even do, even the tenants are also having the effects because house rents affected. Because recently there was a protest by civil society groups in Edo State, in Benin City, the Edo State capital, against the rising cost of cement, a very, very vital building material. Recently again, we noticed for the first time in the history, in the annals of Edo State, fish retailers took to the streets. They are not major dealers. Retailers took to the streets to protest against rising cost of fish. And of course, your darling station, with correspondents around the country, also took the views of citizens in the different senatorial districts of Edo State and outside Edo State. The comments of Nigerians are the same. Rising cost of living. So you understand the background and the reason why this topic is pivotal to the welfare of Nigerians and of course the development of this country. Joining me on today's program, I have with me a man that is widely traveled. I'm talking about a communication strategist, communication expert, and President United in Democracy, a political pressure group in Edo State. Andrew Eyiga-Loah, only recently made an ambassador. Okay, you are welcome to today's program.
Good afternoon.
So it's Ambassador Eyiga-Loah Andrew. We also have with us a man that has made his mark fighting for the welfare of traders, fighting for a better economy. And we are talking about Comrade Lucky Orukpe, who is the President, Traders Welfare Union of Nigeria. Nice to have you on the program today.
Good afternoon, viewers.
I hope you are not tired of fighting for Nigerians. Okay, so we have him on today. It promises to be exciting. I told you, rising cost of living, other matters are rising. And we're going to start with Comrade Lucky Orukpe. Yes. Nigerians are groaning. Do you agree?
I agree with you.
Okay, so what's your take on this rising cost of living?
All right, I can call it man-made. For example, the farmers now cannot go to farm again because of cattle rearer. Somewhere that's supposed to harvest like 2,000 tubers of yam. When the cattle rearers take their cattle to such farm, whatever they meet there, they eat everything. So these are some of the root causes. So I think the government have a very big role to play here. Yes. Like, for example, I have somebody that was doing a plantain farm.
Okay.
And he invested all over 7 million naira. And he can't go to that plantain farm today again because of cattle rearers. So these activities of the cattle rearers taking over another species farm, using to feed their animal, is one of the rising costs of foodstuff in our market. like the poultry people do buy their feed and feed their chickens in their poultry.
Yeah.
Like the fish pond people buy their feed. Then, but the cattle rearers, they decided to cause pains to farmer. And when farmer don't harvest, there will be a scarcity of foodstuff in our market. So these are some of the root cause of the rising
cost of living.
Yes.
Yes, you are actually emphasizing what is called the farmer headers crisis, and is one of concern to the federal government, to the state government, and I'm happy that deliberations are being held, meetings are being held over that headers farmers crisis to actually avoid this crisis. Well, Ambassador Eyalo Andrew, yes, what's your take on this rising cost of living?
Well, I would say that the problem we are experiencing now in Nigeria is just a tip of the iceberg. That's the calamity that will befall Nigeria soonest if appropriate steps are not taken to avert the situation. I see danger because in a situation, no matter what you are going through, if you cannot eat a day, then there's a problem. You can stay without wearing beautiful clothes. You can wear your one shirt and two trousers, one shoe, and be going for weeks and years. Nothing will happen. But in a situation where you cannot have a meal on your table, then there's a problem. Like you rightly said, since I was born, I see people groaning over increase in foodstuff and all that. I've never seen a situation where retailers will go on the street. They are retailers, they are not the consumers. But they feel for the consumers. They now went on the street to protest the high cost of fish in the market. In those days, if you can't afford, expensive food, maybe they tell you, what's it called? Bush meat is 10,000. Go and buy fish now. You can use fish to cook. It's a staple food. But now, fish is now like, grocery, an expensive meal that at the end you want to eat about with ordinary water. That's where we are going to right now. And in this, like he rightly said, when there's scarcity, price will rise. If you go around town now, before now, like last year or 2 years ago, we've entered rainy season. You will see people roasting corn, boiling corn and all that. We are not seeing it. Are you not experiencing it? Have you not watched? We are not seeing corn being roasted cooked around for people to buy because our mothers, the farmers don't go to the farms anymore to farm. They are being harassed, killed, maimed, raped by headers. What do you call them?
No, it's okay. Cattle
rearers, depriving them from going to their farms. And these cattle rearers, they are not from this part of the country. How they got into this, to the certain parts, to expand, to spread to that level, I don't know what happened or what is happening. We don't have security anymore in Nigeria. In a situation, I tell you now, it is the people in the village that are even happier than us in town. Because for them, if you can eat 3 times a day, you are okay. They don't need to drive big cars, live in big houses and all that. But they are being affected now. Now, what are some of the root causes of this crisis?
Rising cost of living.
One, fuel. That is just the basic truth here. The moment you increase fuel, it affects all facets of the economy. Because the driver that will go to the village and bring these crops to town, they will buy fuel. And I cannot buy fuel for 2,000 naira, then I will go and bring people with 1,000 naira. I will have to increase my stuff. Then the market women or the farmers that wants to bring these crops to town, by the time they pay exorbitant prices for their transportation, they will increase it. So it is the fuel that is the major problem. And let me tell you, that fuel in Nigeria will continue to be increased because we don't refine fuel. We import fuel. We only discovered fuel in Nigeria.
But we discovered crude oil.
Crude oil. But the finished product is gotten from abroad. And by the time you want to import it from abroad, it's through foreign currency. So there's no magic about it. We don't have refineries to produce and say, we won't depend on foreigners or foreign countries to help us refine. So it will definitely be increased. Don't be surprised before the year runs out, fuel will go to 300 naira per
we hope it doesn't happen that way.
Fine, we hope. But I envisage that. So the problem has kind of, I don't know how this problem can be solved.
Okay, we'll talk about the solution. Well, Comrade Orukpe, recently you were in the news. We saw fish retailers, you know, they took to the streets and all that. Well, before I ask you this question, since your protests, has the price of fish reduced at all?
The carton of fish have reduced. The protest you saw recent, that is a warning protest for these people that is doing union inside our market.
Okay.
Are you hearing me? I can proudly tell you here that the cost of living is for only Edo State that is like that. When you go to Lagos, it's not like that. When you go to Port Harcourt, it's not like that. When you go to Bayelsa or Delta, it's not like that. But because some set of people have come together to cause pain to their fellow human being in the name of union. So these people inside our market, for example, the fish association, what they did, when they goes to Port Harcourt, they buy from Port Harcourt, they also go to Lagos and buy in Lagos. So by the time they come to Edo State here, the union decide how much they will sell carton. Are you hearing me? And other states, the carton of fish, 25,000 naira, 24,000 naira. But here they are selling 39,000. So after that protest, they now reduce it to 33,000.
At least your protest had an impact.
Yes,
we are protest by the traders, the retailers had an impact.
Yes,
it's a gradual thing.
Yeah, we are looking forward for the carton of fish to come to 20,000. It's doable.
Okay.
But government has a lot of role to play in all this matter.
Yes.
By stopping these people that is doing evil unions at our market. If you want to sell fish today, you must join union. You want to sell tomatoes, you must join union. You want to sell pepper, you must join union. You want to sell rice, you must join union. You want to sell yam, you must join union. You want to sell snail, you must join union. Everything inside our market, every item you must join union. And this union, they control the price that it will sell. They communicate within themselves. So it isn't supposed to be like that. We are ready as a traders welfare union. We have been fighting for control price. We are ready to put these people. We know them. You were talking about issue of cement now. You can still go to other states. You buy cement 2,000 something. So I think that the Edo State government should set up a committee that will not go and compromise with all this union that we are talking about, to put a stop to these evil unions inside our market. As a pumpkin leaf farmer today, you can't bring your pumpkin leaf to New Benin market and sell. We have some in Yag that will stop you not to sell your pumpkin leaf because you are not in their union.
We don't want to mention names, but you can talk generally.
Okay. They will stop you not to sell your pumpkin leaf because you don't belong to their union. To dry pumpkin leaf today is 70,000 naira with 5 crates of malt. Although we have collapsed a lot of evil union in that market. I can only identify them, I can't apprehend them. So government must rise up to put a stop to all this union that is causing pain to Edo people.
Okay, thank you. We'll come back to you. You believe now that it is issue of unionism.
It's union
that is regulating price.
It's union
in the negative. That's
if you empower anybody today to go and sell tomatoes in a Adowa market, by the time it gets to that market, they must compel that person to join union. They must compel that person to join union. You want to sell your plantain, they compel you to join union.
Okay. So we'll come back
so
to
it's a warning protest you see. It's a warning protest.
Okay.
A day will come in this state, you will see that everybody that is selling different items, they will be on the street crying for government to help the poor. Because it's just few people smiling to bank in the name of union, causing pain to Edo people.
Okay. Well, hopefully we'll be able to also get the side of some of these persons. We don't know them yet. Who are also into issues of unionism and all that. But yes, Comrade Orukpe is saying that issue of union affects price, determines price. So there's like price control by unions. That's the point you are making now. And that government need to come in, intervene, so that there will be free trade. People can sell without being coerced or being forced to sell at a particular price. I think that's the point he's making. We'll talk more about that. But let's also get the thought of Andrew Eiga-Loa. Now, when we look at this issue of rising costs, you've identified the issue of transportation. And transportation, you've said diesel and fuel is a major cost because the increase in fuel will also affect the transporters because they have to make profit. I think that's the point
Yeah,
you are
of course.
making.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes. So are there other areas that you think, other factors that you think is contributing to this rising cost of living?
Like I mentioned before,
Yeah.
the issue of insecurity.
Okay.
The headers, the people that are going to disturb our farmers from farming. You've been listening to news, especially in the north, where the farmers, the headers will invade the bush, invade the farms, carry our women, rape some, kill some, and deprive them from going to do their daily business. Have you seen some farms that are hectares of farms that have been abandoned in Nigeria because they can't go to their farms? And the few people that can go to their farm, maybe they have security to protect them from farming. And by the time these goods get to the market, what do you expect? It becomes a commodity that is not for an ordinary man. It will now be expensive. So the issue of insecurity is playing a pivotal role in the issue of high cost of living, whether you like it or not. And I saw this coming in a situation whereby in those days we see cows roaming the street. They don't go to the bush to disturb. I don't know if this is just a deliberate act.
No, it's not deliberate. The herders too have also made their own point. They are also farmers.
Yeah.
But farmers, what is called animal husbandry. Yeah. They are also farmers in livestock. They also need to survive. So how do you think they must be a meeting point?
In the advanced world, there are areas designated for cow. You don't see
I was just going to that point.
You don't see cow roaming the streets. It's unheard of. There are areas designated for cows, for people to go and rear. Like this Benin Lagos Road, the place is bushy. You can park cows there and go and rear your cows, not on the street. Most times you see popular streets like Ring Road, you see cows on Ring Road.
But they don't farm on Ring Road.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Parabolating and all that. This issue must be addressed. We are getting more civilized these days. Gone are the days when we do certain things out of, maybe we've not been so, advanced and not technologically ripe enough to do something. But for ordinary cow issue, it should be addressed systematically and let them put a stop to it. Because I see government playing a pivotal role in reducing all these things. Otherwise, I see a situation whereby in the nearest future, you will see, it's going to be dog eat dog. Because by the time you can't go to your farm, you can't eat, you can't get anything, and you must survive, then it's another ball game.
We hope it doesn't get to that.
Yeah. And we have to start the remedy right now.
Okay.
That is my take.
Thank you. Orukpe, now, you are very close to traders. You are inside, you know the goings on. Now, what do you think can be done? Because generally now, even buying meat is expensive now. So it's not only about fish, meat, and other food items. So do you think it's about transportation? Do you think it's about increasing fuel that is also affecting price of other commodities or other food items?
Yes, transportation is part of it.
Okay.
Where you're supposed to go for 2,000 naira to bring your farm produce,
yes,
you are not paying 8,000 naira. You are going to increase your farm produce. You are going to increase your farm produce. So it's part of it. So I think if we must get it right,
yes,
our state, Edo State, the government must rise up against this food increase in our market.
Okay.
I repeat, the state, they are not responsible for the increment of foodstuff.
So Edo State government is not responsible.
Edo State government is not responsible
for increase in prices.
Increase of prices.
Okay.
It's union, but they have the right. Are you hearing me?
Yes.
To call this union to order.
Okay.
To call the union to order and put a stop to those. What is union? Union is all about welfare.
Yes.
Union is all about welfare.
Yes.
Not causing pain to people. I do not have the power now to hold anybody that is doing that union. But those state governments have the power to call that person to order.
Okay, so I think
government
agents are watching.
Yes, why are you compelling people to join plantain union before they sell their plantain in our market? So when the government begin to stop those illegal activities at our market and everybody bring their plantain to market to sell, food will be cheap.
Okay, but what about issue of transportation? What do you think government can also do to reduce transport fares for farmers, for all these traders?
The issue of transportation,
yes.
Federal government need to reduce the fuel.
Okay.
Federal government has a role to play on that.
Okay.
I don't think that state government have power on that.
Yes.
Unless we produce fuel in those states, then the state will decide,
decide
the price.
I think I know that the federal government.
The federal government should look the people.
Okay.
We are passing through suffering. You can't describe the hardship at all. Because right now, where you're supposed to go for 15 naira before, in Benin here, it's now 200, 150. So these are some of the consequences. So the federal government need to go back to round table to see how they can bring the fuel down to a certain amount that Nigerians will appreciate.
Okay.
As it is now, my brother here said, fuel will soon get to 300 naira. I know that it's going to 300 naira. It's nothing being done. But the masses themselves, if you keep quiet, the fuel will go to 300. The masses themselves need to come out to also agitate. Orupe is doing his own. Are you hearing me? I'll play my own part. So everybody needs to come out. Don't stay in your house saying, not concern me. That language will not concern me, not concern me. Before you know, the fuel will go for 400. The fuel will go for 400.
Can I come in?
Okay, please come in. Yes. Yeah, come in.
No, listen. What we're experiencing now in Nigeria, it's not like the government is wicked. You understand?
Yes.
The federal government is not wicked. It is how you buy, you sell.
Yes.
It has to do with foreign currency.
Yes, that is market forces.
Market forces.
Exchange rates.
Exchange rate. Now, the euro is now 574 as at last week. As against maybe even when Jonathan was there, 200 something and all that. And it will continue to grow higher. Because we are not self-reliant in Nigeria. We depend on foreign goods to sustain in this country. So you as a businessman, let's forget about fuel now. You deal on other groceries, other imported goods,
yes.
And you buy your foreign currency for 574. You go to the market. Then when you come back, when you change it with that amount, what are you going to do? You're not going to increase the price because you have to go back to the market. Because it has to do with self-reliance. That is why you see most Europe countries, the first thing they do, they develop their economy to make sure they don't go outside to ask for 80% of what the citizens want. Right from foodstuff, technology and what have you, they have them there. So the nearness to the market is there, nearness to production is there, everything is within them. Are you getting it? So everything works for them. But in Nigeria, you have crude oil, but the refining process is from abroad. So are you expecting federal government to now go and import fuel at 574 per euro? After bringing in the fuel, they will not sell for you 100 naira. Then how are they going back to buy the refined fuel back?
Okay.
So that is just the problem.
Yeah, but I was just coming to that. Do you subscribe to the fact that the federal government should continue to subsidize fuel so that it can be affordable?
Yes, they should subsidize the fuel in this, because you and I know we can't own a refinery to get these products at our doorstep. We must depend on the foreign. So I think other sectors, our tax system is effective, but it goes to the wrong hands. By the time you put in tax and you get taxes from other sectors, you can use it to subsidize the fuel you are importing so that the average Nigerian can afford fuel. Because in the nearest future, you and I know Nigeria cannot refine fuel. That is the only remedy. Using other taxes from other sectors to subsidize the importation of this refined fuel so that an average Nigeria can benefit. Because that is the paramount problem of Nigeria, that fuel increment. Have you not watched? Anytime there's fuel increment, there's problem. We are experiencing inflation, hyperinflation in Nigeria now. Yeah. Whereby people, before you know it, our naira will become like Zimbabwe dollar. If care is not taken, before this year or next year, it will be 8,000 for 100 euro. Whether you like it or not. And in such situation, you will be having naira in your pocket, you can't buy anything with it, become worthless because it is devalued. So
steps must be taken now to avert that scenario. That's the point you make.
Of course, especially in the area of this fuel.
Yes.
If you can reduce fuel affects all sectors.
Okay.
From transportation, what have you, businesses and all that, importation of goods and all that fuel. If you can reduce Just experiment it.
Okay.
If you reduce fuel today, most goods will be reduced.
Thank you.
drastically.
Orupe, do you also subscribe that the federal government should subsidize fuel?
My own take, federal government, I don't know, okay, they can't build a refinery in Nigeria.
We have refineries, but they are not functional.
So they should repair our fire refinery, taking the fuel, the crude oil here to abroad to refine, then transport it back to Nigeria. That is where the problem is now. Yeah. So the federal government should look inward to see how they can repair our refinery or they build refinery. The senators, they are receiving 27 million, 28 million, so many senators here.
You don't know the exact amount.
Now the Nigeria, the federal government should cut costs, cost of governance, and focus on our refinery. They should begin to think how they will build refinery. That is why people vote for them. They promised all these things when they were campaigning. I will do this, I will do that, I will do that. The country we are taking our crude oil to, is it not people that is there that think how they can build their refinery? So our federal government, the people we have in the presidency, they should begin to think how we have build our refinery here. If one individual can come out to build refinery in Nigeria, they will soon commission a refinery now in Lagos. I don't want to mention it.
I understand.
So if one individual cannot build refinery, so federal government cannot build refinery, what about the money that they have been getting from this crude oil? What about the money that they are getting from Apapa Wharf? Apapa Wharf.
Yes.
The money they are, the internal generating revenue, where is it? The money that they have been borrowing since 4 years, where is it? So they should begin to think how they will build refinery, not how taking our crude to abroad and refine and bring it back. Because a poor man cannot transport crude oil. It's a cabal. They also use it to do business.
Thank you. I'll come back to you, but we need to take a break now. And after that, my guest will be looking at other areas, factors, and probably also advice on how we can come out of this imbroglio. The program is 60 Minutes Nigeria, and this week's edition, we're looking at rising cost of living. Other matters are rising. I must tell you that this is of concern to all Nigerians. Nigerians must survive, and the prices of goods and commodities and food items must be reduced. Okay, I have in the studio my guest, Comrade Lucky Orupe. He is the president, Traders Welfare Union of Nigeria, and I also have in the studio Ambassador Eigalua Andrew, who is a communication strategist and president United in Democracy, a political pressure group in Nigeria. They've made their comments, and we'll be taking a step further now. What's the way out? Let's start with Andrew Eigalua. Yes, what is the way out of this problem? What advice, if you were to be in government, what advice will you offer to actually reduce the price of goods and commodities?
Well, government is an entity that is like an enigma. You don't understand what is happening there until you get there.
Yes.
You know, I still blame all these issues, this crisis, on politicians.
Fake.
Because before they go into power, they make so many propagandas. I will do this, I will do this, I will reduce cost of fuel, the dollar will become 1 to 1 and all that. It's like a mirage. By the time they now go there, it's a different ball game. If any economy is going to improve, whether you like it or not, it has to do with the government. Measures should be put in place. You know, each and everybody must tighten their belts. How do you do that? Like in the developed world, if they are facing problems, you see, even if it's $1, they will ask everybody, oh, we have crisis on our hands now. To avert this crisis, let's release $1 from our salaries and see how we can remedy the situation on ground. The whole of them will comply, and the money when got it will be used judiciously. I just saw it on the headline that government wants to slash salary. Even slashing that salary, how are we sure whatever they are going to gather will go to the right place meant for it? We are slashing salary for a purpose, maybe to fight the economy, to bring back the hardship and all that. But are you sure it will be channeled to the right place? That is the big question. So the government, they have a role to play. There was a time, was it last year or so? Somebody proposed in the House, oh, let's slash our salaries so that we can do certain things for Nigerians. And a fellow legislator rose up to say, no, we won't take it. We will not allow it. We did not come here to play. You can imagine the kind of mindset we have. As we speak, Nigeria will produce cars. Innocent car company, they produce cars for Nigeria. Is there any legislative arm that uses Innocent cars as their official car? They still buy foreign cars. And buying foreign cars, you and I know what the implications, foreign exchange and all that, instead of buying from Innocent here and patronizing your own country.
No, don't advertise a company here. Just say
okay. Buying from Nigeria,
made in Nigeria.
And I also learned that these vehicles made in Nigeria, a fellow neighboring African country, they use them. So what are we talking about? We don't have that dedication. We don't have that commitment of Nigerians.
Are you saying Nigerians enjoy foreign goods?
Of course. Foreign goods are better in quality and what have you, but it's expensive. But I keep telling people, Nigerians are not poor. It is some set of people that are unfortunate that are suffering in Nigeria. If you see an average Nigerian, dishing out money, doling out money today, you'll be asking yourself, this person is following Nigeria like myself. Some set of people are enjoying the economy at the expense of others. So the whole situation boils down to commitment and dedication and having that willingness to make your country grow, not math per se, but practicalizing it, and it behoves on the government to put us strategy. That's why I commend our Governor Obaseki. If you look at his policies, it has to do with the people, the people, the people. So that is how a good leader should think, not for yourself. And if trying to do that, you must have so many obstacles that you will have to fight.
Okay.
And that's, I think, what he's doing.
Okay.
So I commend
Thank you, Comrade Rukwe. Now, this issue of fish.
Yes.
It's a staple food. It's a source of protein. Yes. But when our reporters went to town, there is an elderly woman that said, and I have to do this in local parlance, she said she now goes for what they call mushroom, but the local name for mushroom is it Pakpera or something? There's a name for it, I can't just pronounce it now, but the English name is mushroom, as a source of protein.
Okay.
Yes, so don't you think if the price of fish, if it remains the way it is now, people will begin to think inwards and begin to think of other sources of protein?
All right, for me, fish is not supposed to be a problem to us at all. It's still going down to what I'm saying, that is man-made. If only government can swing into action to call this union that is causing this pain to Edo people to order, the issue will be solved. And they should allow free flow of anybody that want to bring fish to sell. We have a lot of people that have quorum today because they are not in that union. They don't have fish in their quorum. This same union that we are talking about, they go to Lagos or Port Harcourt to block the fish that are supposed to come to Edo State. So if we must solve this problem, first of all, let me appreciate the SSG, Honorable Saroge Ogie, that are swinging into action immediately. And as we speak now, they are attending to this issue of fish. So very soon, fish will be cheap in Edo State. Yes, by tomorrow,
fish is the common, source of protein that the common man, everybody goes for fish. Yes.
Ice fish. You call it
ice fish.
So if you cannot buy.
Yeah, you are trying to make a point.
Yes, I said
soon the government is going to do something about
it. By tomorrow, we are having a meeting on this issue of fish matter to see how
the prices can go down.
The prices can go down.
That's a good
We are only appealing to our people, stop doing this union, stop using this union to cause pain. What shall it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his own? You are smiling to bank today, and people are suffering there. When you see issue of rice, we are just talking about fish now.
No, other food items.
Okay, issue of rice now today. Do you know why the issue of rice is very costly in Edo State? Now, if you don't belong to rice union, are you hearing me? If you go to Lagos and bring a truck of rice, we have 600 bags of rice inside the truck. Now, Any rice that come from Lagos to Edo State, if you are not part of that union, the union will signal custom will seize that truck.
Okay, that's an allegation we cannot authenticate, but yes, make a point.
So some set of people that decided to be a union, this rice union, their rice just come and they determine the price they will sell. It's not supposed to be like that. So until government begin to checkmate these people and put a stop to these activities of a union is not to cause pain to people.
Okay, if I may come in here.
Yeah.
If you are calling on government to help and all that, but don't you think another way government can help in reducing this cabal and all that, the government should go into such businesses so that you not buy directly from
exactly.
government?
I was saying something like
You
that.
understand?
I said we have 3 major markets, for example, now 3 major markets. Let's say New Benin, Oba Market, Ekiosa, okay, let us say Uselu, 4 markets.
Okay.
If government decides today to build Korum, are you hearing me?
And state-owned.
Yes, state-owned Korum.
Yes.
State Korum.
Yes.
And invest 500 million to bring fish from Lagos or Port Harcourt. And the vendor or the retailers can go there and buy at the government price. Don't be surprised. Carton of fish will be 15,000 naira.
Because
so
like this comrade bus that we see on transportation.
Yes.
I think
the mass transit.
Mass transit system and all that. I think it's 30 naira.
15 naira.
50 naira. While other buses are 100 naira to whatever.
Yes.
But if you are patient enough to wait for the comrade bus, you enter, you pay your 50 naira.
So
you are going.
yes.
So such method should be applied to such.
The government must also get it right. We should not engage political traders. Me that is sitting down here with you now, I do not belong to any political party. And I'm not ready to belong to any political party.
You are in the market.
I'm a human rights activist.
Yeah.
I'm a trader.
In the market.
Yes, in the market. So when you engage political traders, you will not get the results.
Of course, that's true. Because those are method of compensating political.
Okay, gentlemen, that's another. But some people believe that government has no business in business.
Somehow.
Yes. But what
it's
you are calling for
not
now
business.
Is government now getting involved?
Of course. We want government to get involved. When government gets involved, food will be cheap.
Of course.
Things will be cheap.
They tried it in transportation and it's paying off. They say government has no business in business, but they are in transportation. What are you talking about? So they too, like we have trade now, it's business, the government is involved. So such other sectors should be doubled into.
I'm very ready
to make the life
to give government free idea how they can go about it free. I will give them free. Nobody is paying me. I will give them free how they can have government shop where they sell rice, how they can have Korum where they sell fish, and some other item like groundnut oil and some other things. Then let the retailers, let them go there to buy. You see that this union of a thing will stop. At times you see, when you go out there to buy bread, you will not see bread. Why? They say, okay, flour is now 30,000 naira. The bread union has strike. Will not bake bread again. It's not supposed to be like that. Somebody can just wake up tomorrow and say, okay, our recharge card that we are selling 100 naira is now 110. Union, are you hearing me? Let us put 10 naira. When you check 10 naira times 200,000 Edo people, do you know how much is that? So government should not just overlook all this information that I'm dishing out.
Yes.
This is my 24 years inside the market. I can't go to Unibe and tell lecturer what is inside there. A lecturer can't come to New Benin market and tell me what's inside the market. So government need to involve. They need to involve. Just only one sitting that SSG sit down with us to discuss. It's okay. We'll see what we can do. From 39,000 from carton of fish, it's now 33,000. So we even want the government to put more pressure to stop those unions.
Thank you, Orokpe. That's a good one. I hope you are enjoying this conversation. It's all geared towards alleviating poverty in the country. We also understand that the federal government, the state government have different schemes to actually alleviate poverty, to help businessmen and businesswomen. So many schemes. We'll get to that. But Nigerians want better welfare. And we're looking at solution now to the problem. Herders, farmers' crisis must be resolved. And one of my guests has posited there's need for them to have a designated area for the herders to actually go about their business, because it's a business as well, so that we can avoid these farmers, herders crisis. So the farmers can conveniently go to the farms and farm and bring their produce to the market. Okay, Egaloa, yes, you are actually making a point in terms of solution. Are there other areas now? Because it's not only about food. There are other items. Cement is on, the price of cement is high. The price of building materials is high. What's actually the problem? Let's look at cement now.
No, like in the case of cement,
yes,
I did my research on it to find out why the price has skyrocketed to that level. I was made to understand that, you know, these Dangote trailers.
Please don't mention the name of any business.
These trailers that you see from a prominent merchant of you know, cement business, you know, if you go and buy from them, they will transport it from their factory, whatever in Nigeria, to come and supply to you. And most times, their trailer capsizes on the road, accident and all that. They discover that they are not making money profit like that. So what they did was, they sold out the trailers to retailers. Come and buy. We don't. If you come with your trailer, you can get your cement and go and sell. We don't supply anymore. And most of these retailers, they now went to banks to carry loan, to obtain loan to buy these trailers from these merchants. And, you know, to recover from that loan, that is why you are seeing the price of cement. When he said some states, they still sell for 4,000, 2,800, it's true. But because most of these people, they are from those states and its environs, they went to take a loan to buy those trailers. And the duration of that loan is very close. So that's why they are selling at exorbitant price. Not that the merchant himself is selling for them like that.
That is the union.
That is, and they now start, like you said, that is the union.
That is the
this
union.
Is the amount we are going to be selling until we are able to pay the loan we took. Because the loan they took, if they have to start selling that same 2.8, they can't recover from it. And that is what we are seeing.
Okay,
today.
that's from your own investigation.
Yes, from my own investigation.
Yes, and it's an informed investigation. But I will tell you how he's able to get that information on this program. Okay, Rukpe, now your closing remarks. Rising cost of living affects everybody. Cost of living does not know whether you are a big man or whether you are a middle man, middle class, or whether you are, you know, everybody needs to survive. So, what's your advice? What's the way forward?
My advice is that if you are a farmer, you want to sell in any market in those states, and they are compelling you to join union before you sell your farm produce, report to Traders Welfare Union so that we can stop those people that want to compel you. According to our constitution, 1999 as amended.
No, we don't want you to talk so much about your association. Talk generally now.
I'm talking generally.
Yes,
now. Freedom
okay.
of association, freedom of assembly.
Yes.
So don't allow anybody to compel you to join union. It's not by force to join union. So you take your goods, take it to market. If they disturb you not to sell, find us, tell us, we'll stop that activities and you sell your goods.
So there should be free trade. I think that's the point you are making.
Yes.
If anybody, if you have any produce you want to sell,
There should be free
maybe you
trade.
want to harvest pumpkin or you harvest bitter leaf from your backyard farm. You should be able to take it to the market and sell.
Yeah. Somebody
without being harassed.
Somebody was saying something yesterday.
Yes.
He said in the mobile market, he wanted to buy a cup of melon, let's say 100 naira. So by the time he traveled to his state, he bought cup of melon for 30 naira. So he now invest so much and buy plenty melon to come and sell in Benin. You take it to a mobile market, they didn't allow him to sell. They say you are not a union member. You take it to New Benin market, they didn't allow him to sell.
We need to investigate that because
So
we don't really have
these are some of
authenticated
the
evidence on that.
Yeah, these are
But
some
we
of
need to
the-
investigate this.
These are some of the issues that is really causing, you know, high cost of living.
Yes. Okay. Well, like I said, government agents are watching, relevant authorities are watching, and we know that they'll be able to actually get some very vital information on this program to better the lives of the citizens. Okay, your closing remarks, Andre Igaloa.
Yeah, my closing remark is this. The government, as a government that overlooks the society, like what he said, all the issues we are experiencing now is man-made. Thank God it's man-made. The government should put up machinery, set up committees to make sure they look into the cases of this hardship that is engulfing our society, and especially the farmers and headers crisis. That is my take. They should look into it and see if they can solve it so that things can flow.
Thank you very much. My guest, I want to thank you for being a part of today's program and the vital comments you've made on today's show. The program has been 60 Minutes Nigeria. On this week's edition, we've been able to look at rising cost of living. And of course, my guests have been able to also offer their advice on how the rising cost of food items, rising costs of other items can be reduced to the minimum, because that's the only way citizens' welfare can be enhanced. Opportunity cost, according to economists, is what has been playing out, but if prices go down, citizens can afford more items for their families. On that note, I say thanks for being a part of this week's edition of the program 60 Minutes Nigeria. Next week, by God's grace, we'll be here again to look at another national issue. Until then, do have a very wonderful week ahead. Bye-bye.